Hi guys, just before we start the video here, I didn't cover everything on the dash restore, just the main parts that aren't really found on YouTube anywhere. But I'm just going to show you a couple of photos of kind of the process, and you could look into more detail yourself on how to do it yourself. There's tons of videos on the internet, but basically I just started out with this dash. It was cracked, and I ground out all the cracks, and the next step was I filled it with some Bondo. The next step after that was that I filled it with some polyester filler, and shortly after that I painted it black, and I ended up flocking the dash, and I had the dash like that for a while because that's the best that I can do with a dash. And I don't know, I just kind of got sick of it. I didn't like the look, it looked cheap, so I decided to try it this way, and it ended up working out really nicely, as you can see by this photo. And when you look up close, it looks really stock. So enjoy the video, and yeah. So I started to work on the dash again after a long hiatus of doing nothing on the car. The stage that I'm at right now is I laid down primer last summer. It's spring now, 2020. So I can finally work on this thing again. So today I just laid down some polyester filler. It's important to use good stuff. I'm using Ebercoat. This is the 411. I don't know, I'm not sure the exact number because I taped over it, but it's the flexible polyester glazing putty, and you want to use that on anything that's going to have a little bit of flex to it. It's kind of more of a finishing putty. So on this dash I put in these custom gauges already. I had it flocked, but I want to have it look kind of OEM now, so I got rid of the flocking last summer, and I took the time to spray it with a nice 2K, a nice 2-part sandable polyester filler, or I don't know what the heck it was, feather fill G2, whatever the heck that stuff is. Yeah, okay, polyester primer. So yeah, that's the stage that I'm at right now. Ultimately, once I'm done this, I want to wrap it. I have some vinyl, and it's going to get wrapped in a leather vinyl, but first I got to make sure everything is nice and sanded, nice and smooth. The old cracks you can see here was one, and it kind of went this way. Here was one, and it kind of went that way. I grooved it out, and this one kind of went that way. There's one here too. I grooved them out, and now I'm just trying to flatten the dash everywhere, get it nice and smooth. Then I'm gonna lay some cheapo paint on it or whatever, and then compressor, sorry. And then the final stage is gonna be laying the vinyl on top of it once it's painted. So I'm looking forward to that. So there's a little bit of progress here done on the dash. I think this is after the third or fourth time applying high build primer. So this is at the point of just sanding with 400, and then I'm gonna spray it with some paint, and then I'm gonna lay over the vinyl. As you can see, it looks pretty nice. So I finished putting on just some spray paint. Nothing special. Final stage after that is going to be laying the leather vinyl over it. You will see. Not perfect, but I think it should be good enough. Okay, so this was the first attempt at the dash. Sorry I gotta record audio over because the audio for this was terrible. But don't pay attention to these mess ups here. I didn't really care about finishing off this part. But on this part of the dash here was where I had a lot of trouble initially, and that's kind of what caused me to give up. I had a tear because it was stretching so much, so I kind of tried to see like how it would look if you just overlapped it, and I ended up overlapping on that joint and the joint that I'm touching right now. And on the joint I'm touching right now, you can't really see it, the overlap at all. But this joint here, you can see quite a bit when you're looking at it, just because the material on one side is stretched super bad, and the other piece isn't stretched at all. And on this side and the other side of the dash is the only place where I'm going to have separate joints. So yeah, but I'd like to do the dash in one piece. Another mistake I made was cutting this area way too early. It ended up being too short, so it helps if you have some extra material so that you kind of can get a feel of where to cut and how much to cut and where you make mistakes. So we're just going to go over attempt number 2 right here, and it went a lot smoother this time. I started from the top of the cluster and went to the I guess passenger side of the dash, and I stretched that very hard, and once it was stretched out I started to push it down into this groove with heat and a little bit of heat, and I pushed it with a cloth, but you can use like a vinyl glove or whatever, and you just want to push it along that edge slowly, and you can kind of go up to around this level here where it's going to start wrinkling, so you're going to start pulling out and then pushing it down with lots of heat, and you keep going that way slowly. Just don't rush anything or else it's going to rip, and you can also push that area out too. So good luck.
Okay, so we're at the point of kind of making relief cuts and finishing up. So I got this very nice. I have one small wrinkle there, which I'm not really going to bother with. And I did burn a small hole through. You probably won't be able to see it on the camera, but it's right there. Just heating too much, and just that's how stretched this vinyl is right now. So I got these to press in, which isn't very hard at all. But I did make this one relief cut here on the top, maybe 1.5 inches or 2 inches away from the edge of the cluster surround. So, and I also made a relief cut here so that this whole area will be able to get pulled that way, because that's what needs to happen. Actually, this area needs to get pulled that way. It's definitely gonna be a lot easier to pull in different ways now that this part, or this area here, is done. There's just a little bit of air here to pull out, and I think this probably is going to be the hardest part. I think this was pretty complicated, but I think this gave me issues the first time, so it's probably the hardest. That's why I'm going to say it's the hardest. So just a little update video on what's popping, but I'm really happy with how it's turning out right now. I'm not an expert body guy, so you can still see the lines where I patched up the cracks or whatever. But I mean, you really gotta look for them, and you really need the light to hit just perfectly. And even then, it could look like just like a leather, natural leather tan line. So yeah, that's where we're at right now, and hopefully, but the next video, I'm gonna be a little bit further along, no holes, and maybe I'll even be done. Hey guys, just a small update video. Sorry, the lighting's not perfect here, but I'm just showing you kind of how I'm doing this part of the dash. I'm gonna have to pull those wrinkles out, but yeah, this part here I just started by starting off in this corner here, going very slow,
and slowly heating, and hold on. So doing this corner was very, very hard because it's, you know, you're going from here to down here, and you got to be very careful with this cut that you make here. When I made this cut, it was probably in this area here, and just from like how much it's stretched and shrunk, like I've almost ran out of room here. It should be enough room just to wrap it around the edge. But yeah, it takes a lot of time and delicate pulling. See, you're just going along and just slowly stretching. You see, like that? Slowly doing a stretch, slowly stretching there. And you know, it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but you know, next thing you're gonna do, pull out these wrinkles and keep moving the wrinkles out to the edge. And yeah, you definitely have to be careful with how you do this, where you heat it, how much you heat it, how much you stretch it, because it's very easy to rip it, like I showed you guys. So I'm not sure again where this is pointing, because it's on my freaking head and I don't know where it's aimed. But I'll show you an example here of just how slowly this process is, and you kind of got to figure out where it's tight. Right here, I could tell it's tight here, so I'm gonna have to heat up this area so that I'm able to continue pulling this over. So let's try. Heat it up and then pull it over. See, luckily it worked. And then you just pull out the little wrinkles. This right here is just a paint run from the paint underneath. It was just rattle can paint. So almost done. But yeah, it's a lot of shit. So I think I figured out how to do this corner of the dash here, and I think it's gonna work out. I almost messed it up right here. I tore a hole through it. I don't really want to show it too much, but you can see it right here. There's the hole. Maybe you can see through. But yeah, I tore it there, but luckily it's just right on the edge here, so I'll be able to fold it over. So yeah, I think if you are going to do this ever, I would definitely start in this area, start stretching it down, and don't put this side down. Just keep this side lifted and keep pushing this down as far as you can. And then once you have it down quite a ways, like I was able to stretch it so that it actually made contact here. I'm going to still be able to stretch that out more. I'm probably actually going to do a relief cut here somewhere. What I'm going to be working on doing is just slowly heating this, and just pretty much exactly like this as I heat it, because it's going to stretch easier and better. I'm just going to massage it backwards, going this way, and this is not very hard to fix up. So yeah, I'm pretty excited how well this went compared to the first time. It is torn, but I think it's gonna be okay there, so I'm really happy with it. Okay, I might as well I'll show you guys what I mean by gently massage. You can kind of see some of the progress from the last video, but here I'll show you. Heat it up a little bit, get it warm, and now you gently massage it in. See? And you just keep on working it in like that, and you get
deeper and deeper and deeper. Alright, so I am extremely stoked with how this corner came out. No rips. We do have a small one here, but we're going to be able to get rid of it very easily. I don't know what that is, if that's just a little bubble or just a mark. But yeah, this corner is definitely, I think, the hardest corner to do on this car by a long shot. So I'm very happy that it's done and it's looking pretty good. I'm really happy with how the dash is going right now. So far on this side, I've laid down some contact adhesive glue on these seams. That's what I'm doing right now, to just kind of make sure that there's a good bond there. So I'm just trimming up the edges of the dash here now. I don't know if you can really see. I'm leaving about a 1/4 inch of extra material that I could flap over, and on the inside, on this side here, I have some contact adhesive or contact cement, whatever. It's made by DAP. I'll show you the picture here in a second up on the screen. But yeah, I'm just using a really small paintbrush and just brushing just a tiny bit right under this edge, and then I'm gonna heat it, flip it over. Before I started doing anything with the dash, I ground away a whole bunch of this primer or whatever and made sure my surfaces were all clean. And what I'm gonna do is just put a nice smear of glue here and flip this over. For this inside lip here, it was gonna be impossible to have this fully stretch over, especially this area on this side of the dash here. I think you guys saw a little bit of how badly stretched this corner was here. So what I did was I did an inlay. You can kind of see it here where the glue is, but I just laid a strip of this leather here. You can kind of see the line here. That's an overlap right there. You can kind of see where the full dashboard overlaps, and there's a small line there that you can almost barely see. But yeah, from afar, you're definitely not gonna see that at all. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of post a follow-up video because I realized I never post one actually filming anything inside the dash or how it looks. And this is almost 3 months after I've installed the dashboard, so you can still see it looks very good. So yeah, there's the dashboard. So good luck when you're doing it. Thanks for watching, and subscribe. Bye.